Hello, how's it going, everybody? My name is Mike, and this is the second podcast. I take this other one out of my ear. It's a little uncomfortable, but I figured I'd start off by doing a Headless Horseman run. Um, I leveled up 20 characters to run this every day this year, uh, in hopes to get the mount because I still haven't gotten it. So, welcome. How's it going? Um, I'm Mike. This is obviously my second episode. If you haven't seen the first one, I kind of go over um, who I am and kind of like my WoW uh, life and where I started and what I've done. And yeah, this one I didn't really have too much of an idea of what to really talk about. I kind of procrastinated till the very end and um, but I have a few things I want to go over. So first, we're gonna kill this guy, and then get the headless horseman out because that's just what's gonna happen. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna be very pissed. But usually I queue these as healer or tank because they're really easy. And I literally died on this last night on my shaman though. Or was it my shaman? It was one of my characters. We ended up actually dying. Um, it was kind of sad, but it happens. Um, but if for people who haven't played this, basically it's like three phases. You get him down until he his head flies off. Then you have to attack his head, and then his head flies back on him, and then you do that twice, and then on the third phase, he summons a bunch of pumpkins, and those are pretty easy. They do a little bit of damage. Right now, everything's kind of doing quite a bit of damage because, boom, I just accidentally misclicked that, but I touched to death his head. Um, but on this third phase now, a bunch of pumpkins should be popping up. And these don't really do too much damage. My healer, this monk, is pretty well geared, so that's not going to be too much of a problem. I'm just going to stun all of them and just AoE them down because I feel like it. I want to dispel him. Boom, and he's dead. His head flew off, and then you kill him, and then you get your loot, your pumpkin-filled head, which this one is going to have the mount in it. So here we go. All right, well, I got 19 more characters. Actually, I think I have 21 more characters to do this on. So we're good. But okay, so what I wanted to talk about this episode is I wanted to go over like keybinds and the type of mouse that I use because I feel like uh, it's kind of important with an MMO to like um, have quick access to hitting your spells. And in one thing the game doesn't really teach you is to like set your um, is to keybind basically. So what I like to use is I'm going to switch screens here, and I like to use this mouse. It's a Razer Naga. It has 16 buttons on the side. Is it 16? No, 12 on the side. It has there's two buttons right here as well, and then the mouse clicker is a button, or the scroll wheel is a button, and the reason I use that is because I have this whole bottom. Oh, let's wait till it comes back. This whole bottom row down here set to my mouse. And then even this top row, I have 1 through 6 on my keyboard set to it. And then I have R and F set to it because those are pretty quick close by. And then I have the two mouse buttons and then a shift to mount the two top mouse buttons on top. And And then I have even more like some mounts and stuff set to shift and then my side Naga buttons. Um, and it's good to have everything pretty much set up because each class has a ton of spells, and even with Shadowlands coming out, we're gonna have even more because they're bringing back a ton of spells from the past. Demon Hunter, you're still gonna be able to use a GameCube controller or whatever, Super Nintendo controller to play your class. So if you're a Demon Hunter, you don't have to worry about this. But everything else, yeah, you have to use quite a bit of spells. Um, so what I like to do is the reason I do 1 through 6 is because those are pretty easy to reach, right? R and F are pretty easy to reach with my pointer finger as well. The two top mouse buttons, easy, and then shift is easy to hold down with my pinky and then hit the two top buttons as well. And I save like ring a piece because I use it very minimally, and then revival as well because I don't want to accidentally misclick that. So I want to be able to press shift and then my mouse button to press it. Another thing I like is a lot of people I watch with their videos is they only bind their movement to Q, W, and E, and so their A, S, and D are also different spells. But I actually like having the extra like movement with my left hand as well because I do use my mouse to run around and turn and stuff. I don't do too much of a keyboard turn, but I like to have that option in case I'm using um, my mouse for any kind of other reason. I don't know. It's just like the more movement I have, the better it is. Also, I have Chi Torpedo, and if you get rid of the back pedaling um, button, you can't like backwards Chi Torpedo, which I like doing. Um, and another cool thing with monks is you can like jump and backwards Chi Torpedo, and you barely like Chi Torpedo. And that used to be really nice back when Chi Torpedo did healing, but now it's okay if you're like only trying to teach Chi Torpedo like halfway, but don't use that too often anymore. Um, but some people will only use their strafe buttons. We'll get rid of their turning, their keyboard turning, and their backpedaling button for more spells. So that's another thing you could do if you don't use uh, your left turn and your right turn and your back pedaling turn or button. Anyways, that's what I like though, is to keep any kind of movement because it's just how I play. Everyone's different. You're gonna be like uh, using even like maybe some buttons with your thumb, like V, B, and N for spells. Uh, but I usually just use my thumb for jumping because I don't know. I don't really um, like using my thumb for anything else. I like to only keep my brain, uh, using a couple fingers here and there, but not really, all 10 of them if I have to. If you know what I mean. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But let's see. So another thing I wanted to go over was what was it? Um Shoot. I had it in my head and it went away. Um what was it? What was it? What was it? I'm gonna pause real quick until I remember because I have a terrible brain and I forget things all the time. All right, I think we're back at recording. Uh, so another thing I like to do is keep all my buttons, or the same style buttons across all classes, kind of on the same keybind. So with my healers, I like to keep my R button as my cleanse or my dispel. And then I like to use my F button as like a stun or like a for my monk, it's my paralysis. Um, And then with like my hard to hit buttons, like my buttons that take 2 clicks to hit, would be like my revival or my tranquility or something that, you know, you don't want to use on accident. Time warp, um, bloodlust, any of that. And then I also keep my button 12, 11, and 10 on my mouse for like defensives. And um yeah, so like if you have that kind of mental, like if you set those buttons, like if you like say my R button is my like cleanse, um if you set that up, then when you switch over to like a different healer to play, you will kind of have that, mental thought of like, oh yeah, I know my cleanse. It's on all my characters as the same button. Now when I switch to DPS, my R switches over to my interrupt, but everything else is kind of still the same. Like my stun is still my F, and then my hard to reach, like my hard to reach button, like the 6, is my life cocoon because I don't want to accidentally hit that either. But I like it to be a little bit kind of where it needs to be. But you saw me in the video earlier where I accidentally fat fingered it, so I might actually move that somewhere else and switch it up. But we'll see. Um. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with key binding. Uh, I can't really remember if I had more to say about it, but I think that was it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, hopefully that made sense. That's kind of it's more so there's a lot of better key binding videos out there, but this is kind of more of like a personalized how I do it or how I do it, and hopefully that helps with people that are having a little bit of trouble learning how to keybind. Um, what I like to also do is set a movement um, to the same button. So I usually have it as my mouse 3 button. And uh, for anyone using a Razer Naga, I set mine. You can either set it to your number pad, which is great. Uh, for some reason, mine wasn't working at some point, and I switched it over to Control 1 through 12. And that's fine because I don't really like using control with my pinky because then I have to like kind of bend it back a little bit, and I have like a short freaking stubby pinky, so it's kind of painful to do so. But I macroed my shift to certain spells like my mounting, which I can't do here, but um here I'll teleport somewhere real quick. But I'll like my mount button is shift and then my mouse 1 button. And then I set like certain mounts to different buttons. And that way you're not going around clicking everything. Um, right now I do have a couple extra buttons now because of the pre-patch. My character got quite a few, so I need to set up new keybinds for a couple spells. But yeah, another tip too is do this Halloween things, this Halloween stuff, because you get a magic broom and it's an instant mount, and you can fly in air and then just easily mount. So if you want to like get down farther, you just get off your mount and then jump back on. It's really easy. It's another quick tip. um, what else? That's pretty much it for that. I apologize for not being a little more. I think I should probably make a like a not a like a script, I guess, to kind of go over stuff like this, because I have a like I had this all in my head before recording, and then now like half of it I feel like is just left me, and I can't remember, and it kind of sucks. But I can go over some some macros as well for healers. It's kind of good to have, especially if you're Um, let's see. If you're kind of having a hard time healing, because I mean, for the longest time, I was using, I was just clicking everybody in my group and then I'd heal them immediately. But then once I learned that you could literally set a spell up to just hover over them and it heals them, or you hover over their nameplate and it heals them. Like, say I have like this person um, targeted, right? But I want to heal this person, like, and their nameplate is over here. Like, I just hover over them and hit it, and it just heals them immediately. Mouse overs are like the greatest thing ever, because like you just have the boss targeted the whole fight, and then you just like go around healing everybody without having to actually target them. And for the longest time, I didn't want to learn that because I thought I was doing fine without it, but I do so much better now with mouse overs. So the macros I use for my Mistweaver, at least, are bam. So I got one for my detox, one for my enveloping mist, life cocoon, um, renewing mist, and soothing mist, and vivify. And I might have to set up some more going into the new expansion, depending if I play my um, Mistweaver, which I most likely will. But the one I use is a show tooltip and then the spell, and then it's a slash cast. Uh, forget what that's called. The right left like bracket, and then at mouse over, comma help, um, and then another bracket, and then help bracket, and then vivify. I copied these from some website and I can't remember where, but these work really well, and it's pretty much the same for each one, and they work fine. I've been using them. Another thing is what I'm trying to say with this, Ann, is like I'm talking about key binding. Go look up key binding videos and watch those. Go look up how to make really good macro videos and watch those. I basically want to just bring this up because I played so long without having macros. I mean, I had like some macros set up where it would just blow all my cooldowns and then I'd, fight and do a bunch of damage, but that was about it. I didn't have macros when I healed. And then mouse overs are just the greatest thing ever. Key binding, it's a life changer. Although I do know someone in my guild that doesn't keybind and still clicks, and he's a pretty good player. So um, it's just all personal preference, how you want to play. I know with key binding, you're able to keep your eyes on more stuff that's going around you and your character, and that way you cannot focus all down here on what you're clicking, and it works really well. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to go over is a couple add-ons I use. My whole add-on like setup, I know this looks way different from the standard UI because this is LVUI. I really like LVUI. I have this one set up as mine. This is how I like it. I know there's some presets in there, or you can go onto some websites and get your own, or get someone else's and upload it into your profile. And yeah, I also use weak auras. I don't have any set up on here, but those are pretty nice. They'll have like little icons that you could just put right in front of you, so when some cooldowns are over, or when your interrupt is up, and then when certain cooldowns, or I already said that, but like basically all your very important spells that you need to know when they're off cooldown. You can put them like right under here, or you can even have weak auras set up to do a lot of different things. You can have them set up to like tell you when you need to pretty much do anything in this game. There's a lot of different things. Another thing you could do is look up weak aura videos. There's probably a billion of those on the internet. Um, this one I just started using in the mouse cursor one. That one's kind of nice. Just kind of tells me where my mouse is, and I enjoy it. It's I think it's a lot better than having that little circle one that I see a lot of people using. It's just a little circle around their cursor. And then let's see. All the things that just keeps track of. I like to do a lot of collecting, so when I go into the dungeons, it'll tell me what drops from that dungeon. Altaholic, I have lots of alts, so it keeps track of all my alts. Raider IO, that'll let people know your score for Mythic Plus and rating and whatnot, and is pretty well known if you do like high end or any kind of Mythic Plus or stuff like that. Like people will want to look at your score to bring you, so it's good to have that. Mount collector for collecting mounts, it just shows you like a lot of good mount information. And then rarity, same thing, like it tracks your rare drops for mounts and pets and stuff. Rematch is good pet battling pet battling thing that lets you, I just downloaded this, so I haven't used it quite yet, but you can set up battle pets and save them, and it changes the UI a little bit, makes it a little easier, so you can use your pet bandages and safari hat and some other stuff when you're leveling pets. What else? Silver Dragon tracks rares, so it'll pop up with a little icon every time a rare pops up. And Tomcats is good for if you're like tracking rares in the game. I believe this is the one for the map that tracks like nothing there, but if I go to like Broken Isle, there's like little skulls everywhere for where all the rares are at. I think that's what Tomcat does. And then we got, what else? Yeah, weak auras. Paragon Reputation's kind of nice because it tells you once you reach Exalted, it'll like start a new little bar here, so you can see whenever you're gonna get a Paragon box from that rep. And yeah, LVUI, Deadly Boss Mods is great for raiding. It pretty much helps you out with all the boss fights and kind of informs you on what's going to happen with a boss fight, like if you need to interrupt it or stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to keep this podcast pretty short and simple, like 20 minutes or so, and then kind of just wanted to go over my UI and key binding and all that good stuff. It's kind of good to know as a new player, all that stuff, and just keep an eye out on our look up like videos on how to do all this stuff, because I just kind of went over it all in general, but it's good to like look up these videos and yeah, and inform yourself. Also check out my little dragon. That's so cool. I love it. Anyways, I think that is all I will go over today. This was kind of like not really even a podcast. It was just kind of like a video on talking about some stuff. But yeah. Real quick, I guess I'll go over some of my characters, since it's kind of fun to do that and show you guys something. So Burning Blade actually wasn't my original server. It was actually a new Barak, and my first character I ever made was this guy Lucayo. But his name was actually Hellhammer, which I had this kind of like lore thing when Wrath of the Lich King came out that Hellhammer had died and he became a Death Knight. So my warrior was originally an orc, and then he became a Death Knight, kind of something like that. So that's why the name switch. But these guys were level 90, and I left them all on the server when we switched to Burning Blade, which I brought my monk over and my paladin, which I was playing a lot at the time, and then I just started leveling all these characters on here. Um, but yeah, I got my demon hunter, another warrior named Hellhammer, which I just changed with the new customizations, and it looks pretty badass with the tattoos and the scar and everything. I think it looks cool. I got my paladin, my priest, druid, shaman, hunter, death knight, mage, warlock, and rogue. And then I have a bunch of other like level 50 monk, priest, death knight. Like I'm just leveling up level 50s like crazy just to get the mounts that I need, especially during like holidays like right now. Like right now after this, I'm probably going to run like as much as I can. Probably 20 all of my 25 or 22 I think I have right now level 50s, and I'm going to hopefully get them out. So yeah, wish me luck. And again, you can catch me on twitch.tv/Lucayu. I stream there. Not, I haven't been streaming too often because I've actually been thinking of some video ideas to be doing. So one of the videos I'm going to be filming tonight is a cooking video. So a couple years ago, I got the WoW cookbook video, and there's a bunch of recipes in there. I think I was going to make videos on. So that video is going to take a while because I'm actually going to start getting back into editing, and so it's going to take a few days to edit and put together, but I think it's going to be really fun. So a cooking video, and then I have another interesting video idea that I'm going to come out with soon. Hopefully you guys like that. But yeah, if you can, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me, I don't know, just talk with me. I love chatting with people. So if you have any questions about any of the stuff I use, or any of the macro stuff, or any of that I can hopefully put together like in written form that makes a little more sense. I know right now, until I start writing scripts or something for these podcasts, like it's hard for me to keep talking without having that information that I can look over and kind of work off of. But for now, I'm just going to end this podcast here. It's almost 30 minutes. So thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.